Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side. Once again, your daily healthcare common sense radio program where we cut through the murkiness, we cut through the darkness and the dishonesty and the lies that we're just subjected to all the time, bombarded with on a daily basis from those that we trust to have our health back, our healthcare back. If you're new to this program, it may come as a surprise to you that our doctor and our drug model is not just a font of dishonesty. It's exploitative, it's manipulative, and it's predatory at its very core. The medical model is not your friend. The medical model is not your friend. It's a corporate parasite. It's a vampire. It'll do whatever it needs to do to suck out every last morsel of our energy and then throw us out. And I understand how desperate we can be when we're dealing with a disease crisis, and this is what the medical model anticipates. It feeds on our desperation. This is why taking care of ourselves preemptively, ahead of time, while we're healthy, is so important. The time to protect ourselves from the pretentious and pretending parasite, the purveyors of poisons and lies, the time to take care of ourselves is before we need them, before we get sick. And this is why, number one, understanding the basics of how our bodies work, and number two, understanding how to nourish and how to sustain our bodies while we're healthy and well is so important. And this is what this program is about. This is what The Bright Side is about. It's about helping us understand how this miraculous and divine and intelligent and infinitely adapting and self-adjusting biological machine that we call the human body, how it works, and how to take care of it in a common sense, logical, non-medical, non-drug fashion. Our medical model is so impressed with itself that it has conveniently forgotten that in spite of its opinion of itself as the core of the finest healthcare system on the planet, it has presided over the gradual health destruction of the human race. No exaggeration. Under its watch, the medical model, over the course of 1,000 years or more, the medical model has presided over the degradation of the health of its constituents, us, by every single marker you can imagine, including longevity. We are the first generation that is going to observe our children having a shorter lifespan than their parents, than us. Congratulations, doctor. But the good news is we can and we should, as my friend Dr. Glidden says, fire our MD. The medical model is directly responsible, directly by their own statistics. This is out of the Journal of the American Medical Association. They're directly responsible for the deaths of thousands, tens of thousands of people every year. Congratulations, doctor. The medical model is directly responsible from JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association, their own statistics. They are directly responsible for the wounding, the maiming of tens of thousands of people every year. In what other industry would this be tolerable? Would you ever fly again if 70 or 80,000 people died in plane crashes every year? Would anybody ever fly again? Yet we flock to the doctor. We flock to the pharmacy. We flock to go get our prescriptions and get our devices and get our tests and our diagnostics. And does anybody get better? Has anybody had their degenerative disease reversed by the medical model? If you have some kind of degenerative disease, and I'm talking here not accidents, because praise God for surgery and surgeons, at least for acute trauma. If you get hit by a car, hit by a bus, yes, you need a surgeon, obviously. But in terms of degenerative disease, as opposed to acute trauma, our best bet if we're unhealthy is to find a biochemist. Find somebody who understands the chemistry of the body, not a doctor. That's not what doctors do. In fact, most doctors are completely ignorant when it comes to the biochemistry of the body. This is where health and healing occur, in the biochemical pathways. Find a doctor, find a biochemist, not a doctor. Find someone who understands the biochemical pathways and figure out where the malfunction in the chemistry of the body is occurring. And what we're always going to find at the core of all health issues is defective digestion and dysglycemia. Dysglycemia simply means messed up blood sugar. So we have messed up digestion, messed up blood sugar. That's pretty much it. And those are lifestyle issues. There's no doctor strategy, there's no medical strategy, there's no drugs that can help us at the level of the digestive system and the blood sugar system, but it doesn't matter because we don't need them. We don't need them. We need ourselves. We need to make choices that support our health, support digestive health, support blood sugar health. That means no matter what your health challenge is, first, focus on digestive health, i.e. food processing health, and second, pay attention to sugar intake and sugar processing. When I say sugar, I'm not just talking table sugar. I'm talking bread and pasta and potatoes and rice and cereal and processed foods of all kinds, all the foods we love so much. These two aspects of living are so fundamental and so important. This is why we spend so much time on digestion and sugar metabolism on the bright side. And this is why we've been talking the last couple of days about the liver. The liver performs hundreds of functions, and it's one of the most important organs of the body, along with the brain and the heart. It's one of the top three systems in the body, the liver, the brain, and the heart. And it does hundreds of different things, the liver does, but none of its roles are more important than the part it plays in processing foods and sugar. Because the liver is the primary sugar processing organ in the body, the more sugar we eat, the more bread and pasta and rice and potatoes and cereal and burritos and candies and cakes and desserts, the more of these kinds of foods we eat, the harder our liver is going to be working. We need to be loving our livers, taking the load off our livers. We've got two major types of sugar, as we said yesterday. There's glucose and then there's fructose. Those are the two major types of sugar. Ordinary table sugar, the kind of sugar most of us indulge in our coffee or on our cereal or wherever we put sugar. The ordinary table sugar is a combination of glucose and fructose, typically 50-50 glucose and fructose. That means if the average American is consuming half a pound of sucrose a day, he's eating a quarter pound of fructose. And fructose is a huge problem. In fact, fructose is actually a bigger problem than glucose or than straight glucose. So I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. Our number is 855-660-4261. We're coming back at you right after this. Don't go away. So the liver processes sugar, processes fat, processes protein, detoxifies. There's no harder working system in the body than the liver, along with the heart and the brain. It's one of the three most important organs inside the body. As far as sugar processing goes, most Americans, the average American, I should say, is ingesting around half a pound of sugar a day. A quarter of that is fructose, or half of that is fructose. That's a quarter pound of fructose a day. And then if you throw in high fructose corn syrup, that's even more fructose. Fructose is a little bit different in terms of how it's handled by the liver. In fact, the way fructose is handled by the liver has a really important role to play in liver health and the lack thereof in liver disease. There's a really important distinction between how the liver and how the body handles fructose as opposed to all other sugars. Glucose, the other major sugar, can be handled by all the cells in the body. When glucose gets into the blood and then into the liver, it can get utilized by all the cells in the body. But fruit sugar, or fructose, can only be metabolized by the liver. Which means if you're thinking how great it is to have fruits because your dietitian told you got to make sure you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables. Most people think those are synonyms. They're not. You hear fruits and vegetables, so most of us think, oh, well, we can eat lots of dried apricots and bananas and apples and honeydew. The problem is when you eat these kinds of foods, these super sweet fruits that are loaded with fructose, and processed foods like sodas and beverages, we're going to be eating and drinking and subjecting ourselves to a lot of fructose. That puts a major burden on the liver because the liver is the only place where fructose gets metabolized, gets processed, gets broken down. So fructose puts an especially significant burden on the liver. And in this way, fructose can actually be considered a liver toxin. In fact, fructose metabolism and fructose toxicity is on par with prescription drug toxicity and food processing toxicity and antibiotic toxicity and alcohol toxicity. How ironic is it that as far as our liver is concerned, we can experience the same kind of toxicity as an alcoholic who's drinking rock gut whiskey out of a paper bag as we can by following our mainstream dietitian advice to eat more fruits. Now keep this in mind. The liver and liver toxicity, all the liver toxicity that we're talking about, is above and beyond the kind of problems that are associated with diabetes and insulin. What I'm talking about here is strictly liver poisoning, fructose causing liver poisoning in the same way that alcohol causes liver poisoning. Dr. Robert Lustig, who I was hoping to have on the radio program about a year ago, never showed up. He was a no-show, but He's got lots of great YouTube videos. He's written books on this. He's got a great YouTube video that's, I think it went viral. It's called The Bitter Truth. Google The Bitter Truth and Dr. Robert Lustig, and he talks at length about the specific problems associated with fructose. According to Dr. Lustig, liver chemicals that are required for processing fructose are the same liver chemicals that are required for processing alcohol. So in terms of liver processing, in terms of the chemicals that are required for liver processing, fructose is equivalent to alcohol, at least in terms of liver processing chemicals, liver enzymes. What's more, the processing of fructose by liver cells can lead to the formation of free radicals that can cause liver inflammation in a fashion to the free radicals that are produced by the processing of alcohol. And also, because fructose stimulates the same addiction centers in the brain as alcohol does, we can end up with the same kind of dependence on fructose that an alcoholic has when they're looking for their fix, their whiskey or red wine or whatever it is that an alcoholic is addicted to. So the addictive nature of fructose is similar to the addictive nature of alcohol. The toxic nature of fructose is similar to the toxic nature of alcohol. And the processing nature of fructose is similar to the processing nature of alcohol. By the way, if you're drinking a lot of wine, you're going to really be playing with fructose fire. Because in addition to the alcohol content of the wine, now you also have a big hit of fructose, which is one of the major constituents of wine. As you can imagine, the sweeter the wine, the more fructose you're going to have to be dealing with. Ports, sherries, dessert wines, these have especially high fructose contents. And if you're drinking a processed wine or an alcoholic drink, some kind of wine cooler, not only are you going to be getting fructose from the wine, but there's a good chance that you're going to be subjecting your liver to high fructose corn syrup, which Seagram's and other manufacturers tend to add to their wine coolers. And once your liver is messed up, everything can be messed up, especially hormone issues. Because in addition to processing alcohol, in addition to processing drugs, in addition to processing sugar and fructose, the liver also processes hormones, and this is especially true when it comes to estrogen and estrogen-related health issues, including cancer, including clots, including PMS, including circulatory issues, including weight gain, including thyroid problems. All of these have an estrogen component which can follow liver toxicity. The liver is the major steroid hormone processing center in the body, and that means that if you're starting to have liver problems, and most people are by the age of 40 or 50, certainly by the age of 60. According to the latest statistics, at least a third, 1 out of 3, 100 million Americans are dealing with some kind of fatty liver health issue. And that means it's going to be a short hop to an estrogen health challenge. And if you're a guy, that could mean low T and a testosterone health issue as well. Hopefully you guys are getting the idea that liver health is really, really important. But here's what's cool about this. If the major problems associated with the liver involve the digestive system and blood sugar, and those really are the two major problems, digestive health, especially fat processing, by the way, and sugar health, we can control this ourselves simply by going on by fasting or using intermittent fasting, simply by using caloric restriction, simply by eating less or eating smaller meals, simply by avoiding high sugar foods, simply by helping the body process foods, process proteins, process fats, process sugars, using the ultimate enzymes, using the biolumin nightly essence, using apple cider vinegar after all meals, getting on probiotic-rich foods like the SueroViv and the probiotic-rich cheese from Jordan Ruben's company Beyond Organics that you could find on brightsideben.com. Folks, we have control over these serious master core areas of the body where health comes from and where disease comes from as well. These are not doctor issues. These are our issues, and this is such good news. This is why I call the program The Bright Side. It's good news. It means we have control over our health. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We are talking liver health, and we're going to get to talking arginine health here in a little bit. Actually, we'll do that on our next program. Super amino acid, as I call it. There's a really important relationship between arginine and the liver, and arginine and sugar metabolism, and arginine and growth hormone, and arginine and wound healing, and arginine and anti-aging, and arginine and just overall great health. I personally do a teaspoon of arginine powder every day. Interestingly, arginine tastes really lousy, so you always want to mix it up with something else, like I put it in my smoothie. Those foreign nitrogens make it really, really, really bad tasting. In any case, arginine is super amino acid, and we will continue talking about its importance, and we'll talk about the role arginine plays in helping the body produce what has been called the molecule, was called back in the 90s anyway, 1999, molecule of the year, something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, you may have heard of, has got really important roles to play when it comes to circulatory health and the health of the heart, and it comes directly from arginine. We'll talk about that on our next Brightside episode, so you're going to want to tune into that. Our number today is 855-660-4261. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Denise in California. What's up, Denise? Welcome to the Bright Side.
Hi. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and in April, actually March to April, mid-March to mid-April, she was sick. She got some virus. She had a fever. She wouldn't eat. She lost about 7 pounds on the 18th of April. Took her to the doctor a second time. She's okay now, and they put her on an antibiotic for a suspected sinus infection. Well, then early May, her hair started falling out. And we've had this with fevers before, but not like this. It is all coming out. It's still coming out. And she's getting, you can see her scalp. I mean, she used to have thick, gorgeous hair, and there is not much left.
Okay, we got some problems going on here. You got to look for some other health conditions. Hair falling out is not the problem. That's a sign of a problem. So we got to put together some pictures, some other dots, so we can form a picture of what's happening in the body. You have to look for other symptoms. This could be very important. Hair comes out when we get older, but for a teenager, that should not be happening. That sounds like there's some major, major burden on the body. And for that kind of burden to be occurring in the body, there's got to be other symptoms. You see what I'm saying, Denise? There has to be something. So you got to find something else. Now, the antibiotics didn't help matters. You don't need an antibiotic for sinus infection. Let's just cut right to the chase here. All right? You've got to figure out what the heck is going on in the sinuses that's causing fluid to leak. And usually, anyway, your daughter sounds like there's some kind of underlying health condition. The problem with the sinus infection, the hair loss, etc., tells me there's something percolating somewhere in the body, and that usually means the digestive system. So I'm thinking there's some kind of digestive health issue going on. Do you notice any digestive symptoms, problem foods? Was she colicky as a baby? Do you have problems with your digestive system? Was she breastfed? Anything? Can you answer any of those questions? Give me I breastfed her for 2 years, but she has, I've called you once before, she has Smith-Lemli-Opitz syndrome. And they say it's genetic, and her body doesn't make as much cholesterol as she needs. And she does... Whitney, is that her?
That's her.
Oh, my goodness.
She does. She's actually fine. She does have digestive issues. She has to take Miralax because she doesn't go properly.
Stop right there. Let's hang on right, Denise. Let's hang on right there, okay? So we're starting to get to the root of the problem. And by the way, the Smith-Lemli and the hair and the constipation issues, the digestive issues, the problems when she was a kid, all of that is linked to the hair loss. Cholesterol is a major building block in the body. It's a raw material. It gets converted into building hormones. If she's not making cholesterol effectively, then she's not going to be building correctly. And the hair loss is a sign that, with all due respect, her body is falling apart. She's not building. She's not in anabolic mode. She's in breakdown mode. Now, breakdown mode is understandable for an older person. It's not understandable or acceptable for a younger person. Now, a couple of things that you're going to want to do, and I can't stress this enough, Denise. You have to get to the bottom of her digestive issues. To be on a laxative means that something is freaking her body out. You ever hear of the fight or flight response? Have you ever heard that term, the fight or flight response? That's a biochemical or a health term that refers to the response that the body goes into when it's scared. It either fights or it flights. It runs. Yep. All right, fight or flight. But what you don't often hear is that there's a third type of F response. There's the fight response, there's the flight response, but there's also the freeze response. That's the deer in the headlights look. You ever hear that phrase, like a deer in the headlights? When a deer looks at headlights, it freezes. It doesn't run and it doesn't fight, it freezes. Constipation is the digestive tract's version of the freeze response. So in other words, We can fight when we're under stress. We can freeze. We can flight when we're under stress, or run away when we're under stress, and we can freeze when we're under distress. The constipation is a manifestation of the freeze response to stress in terms of the intestines. So she has got some kind of digestive stress, and she's been doing it to herself for years. If she's 14, she's probably been doing it for 14 years, and now it's coming to a head. And this is very, very young, Denise. So, and the future is not bright if she keeps going this way. So you've got to get to the bottom of the digestive issues. And your doctor can't help you. Your doctor's only going to make it worse, because your doctor's going to say, here's some Miralax, so we can poison the intestines. So we can force the intestines to dump their contents out. So what you have to do is you got to get to the bottom of the digestive problems. And it's absolutely imperative that you do a food diary. You link her symptoms up to specific foods. Secondly, it's absolutely imperative. I can't say that more forcefully and with more gravitas, with more seriousness. It's so important that in addition to her focusing on foods that are causing problems, that she gets on a good probiotic supplement and starts eating fermented foods. Check out the SueroViv from Longevity. You can find that out on my website. Get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Eat fermented foods. Get a book called The Joy of Fermenting. Learn to ferment your foods. She should be subsisting on them. And you know what? At the age of 14, she's going to tell you, oh, I don't like the taste of this. I don't like the taste of that. At this point, that's not an option. You know, tasting good is not an option at this point. At this point, she's got to get the fermented foods in her system, and she's got to get the nutrients in her system. If she's not doing fiber, get yourself a coffee grinder and go get some organic golden flax seeds, and every day grind up flax seeds and put them in a smoothie. Put them in a whey protein smoothie, or put them in any of these Beyond Organic drinks. Blend them up, and that fiber will help her evacuate her bowels as well. You can use chia seeds and make chia pudding. Have you heard me talk about chia pudding? Chia seed pudding?
Smoothies. I have
Denise?
her on Beyond Tangy Tangerine. She's on a probiotic.
I didn't say it. Well, obviously it's not helping, so what kind of probiotic is she doing?
A probiotic, let's see, it's through now, she's taking...
How many billion units?
50 billion.
She's taking 50 billion a day?
Yeah.
She's taking 50, you sure? 50 billion a day?
One capsule, it says 50 billion.
Take two, have her double that, and actually even triple it and see if you notice a difference. See if you notice a difference. I call this functional dosing. That's where you take as much as, you keep upping your dose until you notice a difference, and then you up it further until you don't notice a difference, and you find that sweet spot where you really need to be. I would double or triple that, and then also fermented foods as well. I'll finish up when we come back from our break, because this is really, really important, Denise, okay? So don't go away. Ron, Aaron, and Thau. That's how you say your name. Hang tight, because we'll get to you when we come back from our break. Don't go away. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Got more good health information coming at you right after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side talking to Denise in California. Denise, are you still there, ma'am?
I am.
Oh, okay, so we're going to go real quick, and I'm sorry if I got a little out of sorts there, but this is so serious. Number one, focus on foods and digestion, and the constipation issue needs to be taken care of. Use fiber, chia seed powder, make some chia pudding. You can grind up flax seeds. That will help her go to the bathroom and evacuate her bowels. Did they tell her about eating eggs or eating liver or eating cholesterol-containing foods? Anybody talk to you about that?
Well, she does. We do give her lots of eggs for the cholesterol, and I'm just concerned that's one of the things that her body doesn't like. But she has to have it.
Well, you'll have to see. Yeah, you'll have to see, because some people do have a problem with the eggs. If she can't do the eggs, liver is a good cholesterol-containing food. Foods that contain the cholesterol complex, which is much more than cholesterol, and that's basically your organ meats and also eggs and dairy. Now, if she has a problem with eggs and dairy, then give her the organ meats. But you can get cholesterol into her bloodstream by eating cholesterol, in addition to having her body make cholesterol. She can't make it as well, so feeding her cholesterol can be helpful. Also, making sure she's getting enough essential fats and fat-processing digestive enzymes. There's a good possibility she has an issue processing fats. There's a relationship between cholesterol and bile, which is your main fat processing element. So using bile salts, using digestive enzymes, the ultimate enzymes from longevity that have bile salts in them with all her fatty foods can be helpful as well. Just keep her on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, as I say, up her dose on the Now probiotics and see where you get to a sweet spot. Use fermented foods, and then make sure she's getting enough building substances, especially protein, vitamin A, and zinc. And while she's taking her protein, vitamin A, and zinc, make sure she's using her ultimate enzymes with the protein, her zinc, and her vitamin A. Those are the big triad for building: protein, vitamin A, and zinc, and they all require fat metabolism. So making sure she's using them with fats and a little bit of apple cider vinegar after all her meals. So lots of stuff you could do there. Focus on the digestive system. Use cholesterol. Use fats. Make sure she's getting enough protein and vitamin A and zinc, which are her main building foods. And keep track of her hair as a diagnostic tool, so that when her hair stops falling out as significantly, you'll know you're on the right track. Vice versa, if her hair falls out more significantly, you know you got to be doing some work. There's lots of stuff you could do there. I'd love it if you stay in touch with me, Denise, so you and I can work together, and I'm glad to do that. Shoot me an email, ben@ksco.com, and put on there Denise from California and then Smith Lemley or something along those lines, okay? All right. Are you there?
Is it possible? I'm giving her the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and a multivitamin. Is it possible she's gotten too much selenium or vitamin A? I was looking.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not, with a capital A. Absolutely not. Multivitamin is just the bare minimum. It's like minimum wage. It's like working for $7 an hour. And the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is just to top off her basic needs. That's what Beyond Tangy Tangerine is. It tops you off during the day. But she's got more fundamental deficiencies in terms of fats and building, protein and fats and all her building nutrients. So keep track of all that. I got to move on, Denise, but I'd love to stay in touch with you if you don't mind. ben@ksco.com. Put on in the subject header Denise from California and then Smith Lemley. And God bless. I hope everything works out for you. Okay? Take care, man. Bye-bye. Okay, Thau in New York. Welcome to the bright side. What's up? Thau, Thau, Thau. How you doing, Thau?
Yes,
Is that how you say your name?
Hi. Yes.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing? I have a question. I love your products. I just recently came across you guys about 60 days ago, you and Joel Wallach, and I love your products so much, but I have a problem. I'm 37. I'm 6 feet tall, but I weigh 130 pounds.
Oh, no. You're a skinny guy.
I don't want to take your products when I don't want to.
Because you don't want to lose weight? You're not going to lose weight from the products. Don't worry about it. You'll lose fat from the products. You don't want to be fat, do you, Thau? That's what you lose. You're not going to lose weight. There's a very important distinction that sometimes we don't make between weight and fat. So when we talk about weight loss, it's not so much weight loss as it is body fat loss. And that's what you're going to lose. If you don't have body fat to lose, nutritional supplementation isn't going to cause you to lose numbers. It's not going to cause you to lose weight. So don't worry about that. However, we want to put some pounds on you. If you're 6 foot, you say 6 foot and 130?
Yes, 130 pounds.
Yeah, that's way too skinny. So let's get you want some meat on your bones? You don't want fat. Well, we're gonna get you some muscle. So here's what you need to do, okay? Here's what you need to do. You got to do weight-bearing exercises. You don't have to go spend hours in the gym. You only need, if you do it correctly, you only need 15 or 20 minutes a day in the gym. But you got to put some kind of stress on your muscles, all right? And as soon as you do that, as soon as you come home from the gym, I should say, you want to make sure you're doing whey protein. All right. If you're 6 foot 130, I'd be doing 2 or 3 scoops of whey protein in a smoothie, along with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You could put it right in your smoothie, and maybe even some of this the Amasai from Jordan Ruben's product line, the Beyond Organics. Make a nice smoothie and do your smoothie after you come home from the gym, and then in the middle of the day or towards the end of the day, do another smoothie with whey protein. You don't have to do as much protein in your second smoothie, and then again with the Amasai, maybe some of the Beyond Organic. The combination of the protein, the Amasai and the probiotic, and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the weight-bearing exercise will get you some muscle mass. Now, you don't want to have fat. Don't worry about it. But you're going to notice that your weight number starts to creep up as you start to add protein to your body. And don't worry about losing weight from using the nutritional supplementation. That only happens if you're overweight, and you don't have that problem at 6 foot 130. Does that help you? Hello?
Yes. And one more question, please.
Sure.
Skin moles.
Okay, skin moles are a sign that a problem with antioxidants and it's a darkening of the skin, a darkening of the pigment. Usually you have antioxidants in the body, in the blood, in the skin, vitamin C and vitamin E, and these things protect pigment from occurring. Moles are a type of pigmentation. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting these antioxidant nutrients like vitamin C and vitamin E, perhaps the ultimate selenium, which also has some antioxidant properties, and some zinc. And by the way, I forgot to mention zinc, 50 milligrams a day of zinc picolinate, and vitamin A, 20,000 international units a day, also have building properties. So do those, do zinc and do vitamin A with your smoothie when you come home from the gym. And then as far as the moles go, consider that to be a deficiency in antioxidants or a problem absorbing antioxidants. Make sure you're sipping on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I'd probably throw in a couple thousand milligrams of vitamin C a day, and then 400 international units of vitamin E a day, and that can help you with the moles. And then see if you notice that the moles are showing up more when you're out in the sun. And if that is the case, then you may want to start to throw in some sun protecting nutrients like phytonutrients specifically, and that means plant nutrients, things that you get from carrots and from tomatoes and from pumpkin and from squash. And then do these kinds of foods with meals and with the ultimate enzymes so that you can access these plant nutrients that'll get deposited in your skin and protect your skin from the sun. That's if you notice that the moles are showing up more when you're out in the sun.
Will they go away though?
Yeah, I can't say. I don't know what they are. I haven't seen them. It's possible that they'll go away depending on how deep they are or how big they are or how significant they are. And that is a possibility, but I can't tell you that for sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thau, take care, buddy. Good luck. All right, real quickly, let's go back to Texas and talk to Ron. What's up? How you doing, Ron? Welcome to the bright side.
Great. It's been quite a while that I've been on with you. What I'm doing is I'm 80 years old. I've lost about 100 pounds intentionally.
Nice.
And I'm taking 2,000 B12. One of the standard, multivitamins, vitamin E 400 units, and fish oil, omega 3s, about 1,000 units. What I find is that I'm gradually getting wobbly and weak in the morning. That is when I first get up, and that improves throughout the day.
All right.
What do I do?
A couple of things. You're probably running low blood sugar first thing in the morning. So what you want to do is before you go to bed, do yourself a little whey protein, maybe a scoop of whey protein or half a scoop of whey protein right before you go to bed. That's first of all. And secondly, first thing in the morning, start sipping on, have a little Beyond Tangy Tangerine and a glass of water in that, and then add maybe a quarter scoop or whatever you have by your bed table. If you have a little nightstand by your bed, put a tiny little bit of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine in water and sip it somewhat slowly before you get out of bed, and that ought to help you with the wobbly legs between the protein and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Sounds like you're running hypoglycemic, a little low blood sugar first thing in the morning, which sometimes can occur, especially if you haven't eaten or you haven't had anything in your system before you went to bed. See if that helps you. Okay, Ron?
Great. In addition to that, I have one of the problems that lady before spoke about, that I've had throughout my life, I've had a problem with sporadic. Works fine. I have no constipation for a little while, and then it goes bluey.
Link it to foods. That sounds like there's just a specific type of food that you're eating that has that you're having a problem with. That's that freeze response in response to a specific food, and that would be my hunch. So see if you can connect it up to a food. I got to move on, Ron. Thank you so much for your call. Appreciate it. Congratulations, too. 80 years old. You sound awesome. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Tomorrow, or on our next Bright Side program, we'll talk about arginine in the liver, how you can use arginine for liver health. Also for diabetic issues, for diabetic burns and diabetic wounds, I should say. You can use arginine both topically and internally. All right, have yourselves a wonderful, awesome, beautiful day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Take care, folks. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.